Good morning, everybody. We are on a series called History Repeated, and we are doing lessons from the early church. And on Sunday, my son Caleb turned 21, and it made me think of when I was 21. I'd been married for 2 years. I got married when I was 19, and my husband Mark was 20. And it made me think of a season that we were in. We were the youth pastors at the time, and we would often get given the scripture from 1 Timothy 4 verse 12. And I find it quite humorous now because when Paul was actually writing to Timothy in the scripture, Timothy was probably about 30. But let me just read the scripture and let's just chat around the context of what Paul was saying to Timothy. So 1 Timothy 4 verse 12 says, "Do not let anyone think less of you because you are young. Be an example to all believers in what you say, in the way you live, in your love, your faith, and your purity." So the context to this scripture was that Paul was sending Timothy, or had sent Timothy to Ephesus, a church that was going through some difficult times. There were some issues going on there. And Timothy was Paul's co-worker. He was younger than Paul. And so they had like a mentorship relationship. So Paul was kind of helping him, encouraging him in what to say, in how to deal with the mess that he was going into at Ephesus. And he gives a whole lot of different advice to Timothy, but one of the things he says to him is be an example to these people in the way you live, in what you say, in your love, your faith, and in your purity. So often people say, well, this is a leadership scripture. You know, Timothy was a leader. I don't have to be an example like this. But I think as Christ followers, we can really take this lesson that Paul is teaching to Timothy and spend some time meditating on it and pondering on it and asking ourselves, are we being the examples that God has called us to be? The Message version says this. It says, teach with your life, by word, demeanor, by love, faith, and by integrity. And I love that. Teach with your life. And so my encouragement is that as Christ followers, that we would teach with our lives. Like Paul was saying to Timothy, let what you do, let what you say, how you behave, let it be an example to those around you. Let it be an example in this messy situation that you find yourself in. And it was a messy situation within the church. Let yourself be an example. And I know for many we kind of say, oh no, this is too hard and I can't do that. But this is something that Christ does in us. Because of our love for him and because of his love for us, we can live out our faith. And this is what Paul is saying to Timothy. So my encouragement is that we would take what Paul is saying to Timothy. He's giving him a lesson, like I would give my children a lesson. And as they are now young adults, I can see sometimes they want to switch off when I'm giving them these little life lessons, mom's life lessons, I like to call them. But let's not do that. Let's not switch off. Let's lean in and let our lives touch others by our example.